Hey there, geeks. This is the ReadMe Podcast.
I'm Bhanuka.
And this is Yudhanjaya, and we are going to be your hosts for the day.
What we're going to be doing for the next few minutes is talking about the latest and greatest tech to hit Sri Lanka. So, as the guys on Top Gear would say, let's do the news.
So firstly, we have it on good authority that Google Navigation Beta is now in Sri Lanka. Now everybody is really excited about this because it means that now we can get lost much more accurately.
We actually had Google Maps working perfectly for now. Would the turn-by-turn navigation really help?
No, actually, you know what? I went to Bangalore just last month and we tried Google Navigation Beta. It's called Beta for a reason because we got lost. And we also have Etel's Octa-core phone. Now here's the interesting part. This is pretty much the flagship of Etel's line, right? 8 cores and this phone is only 30,000 rupees. It's actually not bad.
But the problem is, why would you need such a phone? I understand you need to have the best specifications, but if you're going for more of a phone along the budget line, shouldn't you not stick to premium phones?
Well, yeah, I mean, fair point, because right now you have, for example, Asus in the market for like 24,000 bucks. They have a really good phone in that price segment. And you have a whole lot of Lumias. You have even Xiaomi is coming up in this local market.
And especially, since we are talking about price points, Samsung.
No. Let's not get there, man. Come on. Samsung.
What about the Android One that Google's launching?
Oh yeah. Android One is pretty exciting because, now, I don't know about Spice and Carbon, which are some of the manufacturers that are making Android One, but Micromax is huge in Sri Lanka. They have a massive brand following, and believe it or not, they're just behind Samsung in terms of mobile shipments, I believe, according to the latest numbers.
Yeah, but the problem is when Samsung sells a phone, the profit you get from that, and when Micromax sells a phone, these are phones that some of them range for like 100,000 rupees, and then there's the phones that Micromax releases, which are like 10,000 rupees.
Well, fair enough, yeah. There is a huge disparity there, but the point I'm making is Micromax has the marketing muscle to bring Android One to Sri Lanka, and trust me, I've been looking at the Android One specs. They're really epic. This is what you get, right? For 6,500 Indian rupees, that comes to like 13,000 rupees Sri Lankan. You're getting a quad-core device. So the thing is, they're going to be giving us the updates to Android for the next 2 years, right? It ships with KitKat right out of the box, so you get the latest of what Google has to offer. You get a 5 megapixel camera, like I said, you get the 4 cores and all that. And you're sorted for the next 2 years. You don't have to worry about updates.
And even if you do worry about updates, that whether someone else, a competitor, is going to outperform you, don't, because this is a 13,000 rupee phone we're talking about. This is not something like a new Note getting outperformed by something, because this, you can easily throw this away.
Yeah, and realistically, here's the thing. If you look at the price point, if you look at the market right now, right? For 13,000 bucks, what you can get is crap compared to this phone. Like quad-core, you are not going to get that for 13,000 bucks these days. So it's realistically, it's a lot like the Nexus. Right, the Nexus 5, that was a huge hit in Sri Lanka because suddenly you had 100,000 rupees worth of performance for just like 50,000 bucks. That is the exact same thing Google is doing with Android One, and we actually have a chance of getting it now.
And do you actually believe that Android One could have the chance to be the flagship product for all Southeast Asian countries? Because that's the demographic they're going for. They're not going to try to substitute this for the new iPhone 6. This is going to be someone for the everyday working man to go ahead and use a phone. And a smartphone, might I add.
It won't be a flagship because by definition a flagship is something overpowered, something that you would want to show off at the party. But yes, this is targeted firmly at that market, and this is pretty much the common man's smartphone, right? This is Google saying, we want everybody on smartphones, and you know what? We can get everybody on smartphones because we're going to sell it for cheap. Now in India, they're not taking this really seriously because they already have some really good phones for that price. Right. The Xiaomi phones.
Yes.
The Xiaomi Redmi 1S and all those. That's actually a better phone than this.
But it is slightly more expensive.
No, it's cheaper. It's actually cheaper.
Really? What's the price?
It's a whole 1,000 Indian rupees cheaper than this device, and it's got a 720p screen as well. So India has choice, we don't. So I'm really looking forward to getting this thing from Micromax and actually buy it.
Would you actually buy one?
I would actually buy one. Because I need my phone. My phone just got destroyed recently.
Join the club.
Alright, so what else do we have? We have the Yarl Geek Challenge, which is happening in Jaffna. And we're told that it'll start off with a couple of introduction runs. Do you know what the Geek Challenge is, by the way?
Not really. Go ahead and just give me
what
the
they're going to be
brief of it.
doing is they're going to be inviting entrepreneurs over to pitch their latest business idea, to create a prototype, and then pitch it to a whole bunch of investors from Lankan Angel Networks and Blue Ocean Ventures. Blue Ocean, mind you, is the company behind most of Sri Lanka's hackathons happening right now. And according to what we've heard, 1 million rupees is up for grabs. If your idea succeeds, they're going to fund you for 1 million rupees. If they think you're good enough.
But here's the thing, the idea that you're going to have to come up with should be something which is marketable for 1 million.
Yeah.
If you have this grandiose plan of changing the world that requires several 100 million in a budget, that's probably not the place for you.
Yeah, you're going to have to play really smart. And remember, you're going to have to prototype it too. And there's only going to be so much time you have to come up with this thing.
When is the event?
Oh, it's already started. It's actually, today is the 20th. And the preliminary rounds, that is the introduction, have already started. We hear that they have some really good speakers. And I'm probably betting the event is already over by now.
Oh, okay. So,
But it'll be continuing throughout this month and throughout the next.
so let me get this straight. If you have an idea, what you do is you go pitch in this challenge, and if you win, the people there will help you pitch to investors. This does not guarantee.
No. The people there are the investors. They're
right,
going to be looking at you. And if your idea is good enough, you might be approached by a man in a suit saying, son, we'd like to take a look at your idea, you know.
We will own most of the things that you ever make in the future, but we'll make us both rich in the process.
Well, there's a lot to be said for that, mate. So, we also have open data. Now, here's a huge thing. Open data has pretty much been a topic of contention ever since people started applying it to government businesses. Now, what I'm saying here is that people believe that governments should share data openly. Unfortunately, governments don't agree with people. But that's all been changing over the past 5 years. Ever since 2006 or so, governments have gradually been releasing more and more data. And the Sri Lankan government has actually joined the mix.
Which is very weird, right? Of
Yeah.
all the governments, you'd expect the Sri Lankan... I hope I'm not going to get abducted for saying this.
Yeah, I hope you're not going to get white vanned. You know what? I hear somebody knocking at the door. Let's just run, man. But in all fairness, Sri Lanka hasn't exactly been the most open of governments. But they have released 86 data sets to the public. Everything from agriculture to population census to traffic data is out there right now.
Can we actually take a look at the data?
Yeah, we can. You need to go to gov.lk. That is the portal. But the thing is this. Now, most of the data is a bit outdated. I had a look, and the most recent data is from 2012. I don't honestly think it's much to shout about. It's not gonna be, you're not gonna be writing home to your mom saying, Mom, I know who stabbed who in 2014. But, it is a huge step, for Sri Lanka.
It's at least a step in the right direction.
Exactly. It is a huge step. And I think as a result of that, we have seen a short rise in the United Nations survey on e-governance. We've actually become the 74th best country in the world.
That's actually pretty good.
We are actually the best in the Southeast Asian region. Maldives is just behind us. Of course, Singapore is a gold standard we are the best in the South Asian region. Singapore is still the best for the whole of Southeast Asia. But hell, we're getting there.
One step at a time.
One step at a time, yeah.
So, Samsung just released the Note Edge.
Oh, how do I put this? I'm not a huge Samsung fan. But what do you think?
Are you a part of the whole Samsung versus Apple feud?
No. I'm not part of Samsung versus Apple at all. I believe both companies have innovated, both of them have copied, and I hate the design.
I mean, don't you need to be able to copy off of other people to a certain extent?
I hate both companies equally.
Well, that's a first.
Yeah, I'm neutral on this.
Nokia Master Race.
Well, I have to admit that phone did survive South Africa. But getting back to the point, the Note Edge is actually rather interesting because we haven't seen this done before. 2 screens on a smartphone,
right.
And one of them curved.
And do you think that notification system where you actually see the notification before you open up the flap of the phone? The cover. Is it something that you'd use? For example, if you get like a text message randomly during a meeting, sure, you can see yourself using that. But if you're someone who gets like 7 to 10 emails, you might actually miss a few if you're going to depend on that.
Yeah, in all fairness, I can't see myself using this. But then again, I'm not Samsung's best proponent, honestly. I wouldn't spend much on a phone.
You get a curved screen and that's something.
Yeah, and according to the reviews, now according to The Verge and Engadget, there are people who know this stuff. Unlike us who hate on this stuff, they're actually going gaga over this. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves the curved screen. The ergonomics apparently are really good. And you remember the leather backing?
Yes.
Yeah, the ugly leather backing.
Is it leather backing or is it plastic with a leather texture?
It's plastic with a leather texture. And here's the thing, worst, it had fake stitches. Now they've taken all of this out in this new design. It looks, they've taken out the stitching and suddenly it looks and feels much better.
Okay.
So I think Samsung's really onto something here. I don't know if it'll pay off, but it's a good novelty, It's something to talk about.
It's one hell of a novelty because of the price that you have to pay.
How much is it?
I think it's starting off, if you're buying it from Sri Lanka, it would cost you well over 100,000.
Easily.
So, even if you are buying a phone, if you are going for the high end, you can get one now and you can overpay, or you can wait a few more months and then realize the new one is coming a few more months later and be sad about that.
Yeah, you can do what most of us do, that is wait for the damn prices to go down.
Or you can just not buy it and get yourself an Android 1 when it comes out, obviously.
Actually, yeah, honestly, I think we might actually be getting an Android 1. What do you say, folks?
So, what do you guys think about this podcast series that we have just started up with the team at ReadMe.lk? This is going to be a weekly show that is going to be uploaded probably every Sunday. And if you guys want to go ahead and check it out, we'll be having our episodes up on readme.lk/podcast. So don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching. I'm Banuka.
And this is Yudancha.
Signing off.